Hi, I'm Shaul. Recently I got some harsh critique, there's no other way to put it, from a viewer over the series of street photography in Hong Kong late at night. I put on one of the videos recently. Now he claimed that those photos were badly composed and they were not properly focused, and they did not have a very defined subject, and they were blurry and not very satisfying in the technical sense. And to be honest, I cannot agree more. But you see, this is the point of what I call dirty photography. Life is not always beautiful. There is hardship, there is unease. Not everyone is merry and happy all the time, and it should be conveyed through the photography or through art. So that series of photos was intended to reflect that. To reflect unease in that stroll over Hong Kong streets late at night. It didn't help that I maybe had one too many before I took this stroll. But back to the point. I don't care if you like those photos or you don't. Not all photographs have to strive to technical perfection. Sometimes you want to reflect your own feelings, and I think that series is doing a proper job in reflecting what it felt like at the time. So just to make things straight, I will put another series of photos at the end of this video that is a little bit more optimistic, more pleasing to the eye. In this video, I would like to address the question: what makes a good lens? Well, of course, this is a subjective matter. To each of us, a good lens means something different. But I can talk from my own point of view. I like a lens that portrays the world in a true-to-life manner, that has some pop, that shows depth in the scene, that makes you feel like you're there, like you're inside the scene, that is immersive. But also the experience of using the lens in a social sense makes a big difference for me. For example, I do not like very large lenses, because they intimidate the people I shoot. I look too serious, too professional, although I'm clearly not. So the lens should be small. It should also be tactile, so you can operate it easily. You can feel what you are doing when operating it. There has to be a clear distinction between the focus ring and the zoom ring, for example, or the aperture ring, if it's there at all. I also much prefer prime lenses to zooms. Because when using a zoom, there is one extra step in the creative process. Well, it's not really creative, but it's the technical process of taking the shot. When using a prime lens, you compose and then expose and then make sure that the focus is correct. When shooting a zoom lens, there is an extra step. First you have to frame your image to decide how close you want to get to your subject by zooming, not by approaching them with your feet. So there's the framing, then there's the composition, then making sure that the exposure, the brightness of the image is what you intend to do, and finally make sure that the focus is correct. But when framing the image, when deciding what to include in the frame and what to leave out, how big you want your subject to look in the image, you slightly neglect the process of composition. Because most of the time you are in a hurry to take the shot and move on to the next one. So you do not put too much thought into composition, in the sense that you do not look at the background properly. You do not try to look for the right angle from which the relations between different elements in the composition would look right. You do not think of your physical distance from different elements in the frame or in the scene. And that omission is, of course, obvious when looking at the photograph. Those photos look sometimes a little bit boring and a little bit thoughtless. Back to primes then. Well, focal length is a matter of comfort. Each of us has their own comfort zones. Some people prefer a straight linear perspective, where the perspective is similar to the perspective of our own eyes. Now that means they would prefer a normal focal length of 40 to 50 millimeters or equivalent to that. That means that when photographing people, the typical distance between the camera and the subject would be between 2 and 3 meters. It is a comfortable distance, but it does not have a lot of intimacy in it, because if you photograph someone from such a distance, the faces look natural, or I would say undistorted. Some of us prefer longer focal lengths. Some of us are more shy, more introvert, and they feel uncomfortable to get too close. So with a 58 millimeters, you can get the same size of the object in the frame from about 4 to 5 meters, and that distance makes you a little bit of a peeper. It's not a comfortable conversation distance. It's not our natural personal space. It's a little bit more than that. On the other hand, some of us prefer wider lenses. So when taking photos of people, we have to be really close. My personal comfort zone is 28 millimeters usually, and I have to stand really close, typically about 1 meter from my companions or from my subjects. At this distance, faces look slightly distorted. The nose looks big and prominent, and the ears look small. Everything is a little bit too close. But it's not too close for me. I feel rather comfortable at 28 millimeters. From this distance, you can feel a sense of intimacy with the subject, like you know them to some extent or another. Using wide-angle lenses for taking photos of people makes it more important that the lens portrays the world in a true-to-life manner. And that goes hand in hand with the size of the lens. As I discussed many times on this channel, large primes do not portray the world in a natural manner. Images look flat, maybe too clinical, too sharp. And that is because those prime lenses are highly corrected and contain a lot of low dispersion glass, etc., where sharpness is the main issue they solve. And those primes are really very sharp, even from very wide apertures. But the lenses I like using are not as sharp. They contain more high refractive index glass that also allows them to be smaller, because the curvature of high refractive index glass elements. It doesn't have to be so strong, so they take less space in the lens barrel. To put it simply, the smaller the lens, the more poppy it is, the more true to life it can be, if, of course, the composition is right. Those lenses are typically not very sharp. They do not excel wide open. You have to stop them down a little bit to achieve an excellent sharpness. Wide open, they are a little bit softer, especially they have those soft transitional edges that make the images appear more true to life, more deep. Basically, there are three general types of rendering. The first one is that very sharp, clinical and flat look that has become quite common in the past decade due to the increasing resolution of sensors that requires lenses with very high resolving power in order to take advantage of all that resolution. The second type of rendering is true to life poppy rendering, but with full contrast, and that is achieved by using only a little bit of low dispersion glass, or even preferably none at all. But in any case, in those lenses, the number of high refractive index elements surpasses the number of low dispersion elements. And even better, when the ED or low dispersion elements are located at the front of the lens, and the high refractive elements are located towards the rear of the lens, because the lenses closer to the camera's sensor are the ones that have the stronger effect on the way the images will look. The third category of rendering is highly poppy with limited contrast, and that is typical of mainly older vintage lenses that were maybe meant to be used with black and white film. I'm talking about lenses from the 50s, 60s, 70s. There are some newer lenses that make use of the same type of glass, and that produce soft contrast and quite a dense, a heavy image. Those images have to be processed after the fact to open them up, to stretch the contrast, and then they do produce really excellent results, very deep, very true to life. One of the lenses that is of that type is the Seven Artisans 50mm f1.1. That is highly poppy, but also rather dense. You know what? Let me change the lenses and I'll show you what the rendering of this lovely thing looks like. Right, so now I'm filming with this Seven Artisans f1.1, and you can see the drop in contrast and really dense feeling of the look. This is what it looks like at f2.5, but if I open the aperture to its maximum of f1.1, this is the look you are going to get. Bokeh is quite soft and smooth, but the contrast is even a little bit lower. Right, let me stop the aperture down a bit, because this might be a bit on the extreme side. My favorite lens in the world right now is this one, the Thypok 28mm f1.4. It's a small lens made for rangefinders, so it's a manual focus one, and I have to use an autofocusing adapter, the Tekart TMZ02, if I'm not mistaken. All those names are so confusing. It's a magnificent lens. It's decently sharp, but it also has those nice transitional soft edges that make the images pop. And the pop is always there if you choose the right composition. It has one ED element right at the front, but it also contains 3 high refractive index elements that makes the rendering really in the second category, which means it's poppy but with a full contrast, like a good modern lens. Other lenses with the same characteristics of poppiness but full contrast are the modern Folkland lenses, and there are plenty of them. Most of them are M-mount, and they are all manual focus, but lenses like the 28mm f2 Ultron, the 35mm f1.5, and also the f1.2, the 40mm f1.2, the a little bit older 58mm f1.4, made for the Nikon F-mount, and 75mm f1.5. They are all very similar in their rendition, and they all produce images that I really like, with good sharpness, but I wouldn't say the sharpness is the main reason to get them. They differ quite dramatically from all those S-line lenses or Sony G Masters or the Canon RF lenses that are very sharp and clinical, and perhaps they do not make use of the entire resolution of those highly detailed sensors, but they do produce true to life deep images that are more pleasing to look at. Let me switch back to the Type-Hawk 28 for the next section of this video. I know this video is all over the place. There are a lot of musings I wanted to discuss here, and I'm sorry for that. I'm back on the Type-Hawk lens now, and let me take this opportunity to show you what the autofocusing adapter looks like when I get closer to the camera or further away. It works, but I wouldn't say it's ideal for video. It doesn't bother you so much when shooting stills, of course. Just to make sure I got it right with my model predicting the rendition of lenses, I asked an artificial intelligence program. Actually, I asked two of them, what are the principles that enhance the rendering of 3D in photographs in the sense of lens design. And let's see what one of the AI programs had to say. Well, I'm going to read the answer for you. In lens design, certain types of glass are used to enhance 3D perception in photographs by improving image quality and depth. Here are some key types. Right, get ready for that. 1. Extra low dispersion, ED glass. This type of glass reduces chromatic aberration, which are color distortions that can blur the edges of objects. By minimizing these aberrations, ED glass helps maintain sharpness and clarity, enhancing the perception of depth. Well, I have a lot to say about that, but let's go on. 2. Aspherical elements. These lens elements have a non-spherical surface that helps correct distortions and aberrations. Aspherical lenses improve image sharpness and contrast, contributed to a more pronounced 3D effect. 3. High refractive index glass. This glass type bends light more effectively, allowing for thinner and lighter lenses. It also helps in reducing chromatic aberrations. Really. And improving overall image quality. Well, I have a lot to say about that too. Fluoride glass. Known for its ability to reduce chromatic aberrations, fluoride glass provides high resolution and contrast, which are crucial for enhancing 3D perception. And finally, nanocrystal coatings. While not a type of glass, these coatings are applied to lens elements to reduce reflections and ghosting. This enhances image clarity and contrast, making the 3D effect more noticeable. These specialized glass types and coatings work together to produce lenses that deliver high-quality images with enhanced depth and realism. Well, the suggestions of this AI program, which is the Microsoft Copilot, could not be much more wrong. If you design lenses according to these principles, you will get something like the Sigma 40mm f1.4 that I showcased in the previous video, and that has a very sharp and clinical rendering that is very flat. It does not have any life in it. The AI program suggests that 3D perception depends on high sharpness and high contrast and very clear edges. But from my experience and from a lot of evidence I've collected, it is completely false. What enhances 3D perception is those soft edges and the slight blur that optical aberrations create, and especially chromatic aberration. Lenses that have some chromatic aberrations that is enhanced by higher refractive index glass do make the images more poppy, more true to life, and do make the scenes appear more three-dimensional. I also asked the same questions ChatGPT, and the answer it gave me are very similar to this one. Please do not trust this AI too much. What bugs me is the self-assurance in those suggestions and answers, as if those programs had a supreme authority. The problem with artificial intelligence is it lacks critical thinking. So naturally it lacks innovation. So do not expect too many new insights from AI or any innovative thought processes. AI is very good in repeating well-established knowledge, but to acquire new insights and new knowledge, I believe it is better to consult traditional science that is based on rigorous experimentation and critical thinking. Anyway, to end this video, as I said, I owe you a series of a little bit more upbeat photographs that I feel are appropriate to accompany 2025 that is just beginning. All those photos were taken with Nikon ZF and Typok 28 millimeters back in Hong Kong. So I wish you all a very good year, full of exciting experiences. See you again soon. Thank you for watching.